Hello and welcome to this masterclass on product research and specification. Today's session will be around 45 minutes. Your microphones are all muted, but if you would like to ask any questions, please feel free to use the question box on your screen and we'll follow it up after the session. I'm Nicholas Armitt. I'm a senior trainer here at the NBS. And I'm excited to share my expertise with you today. We will be looking at how you can use NBS Source and the product information within the platform to assist you with writing specifications. We will look at how to search and filter products based on the specific requirements. Moreover, we will show you how NBS Source can be a valuable tool for expanding your knowledge and finding inspiration in your professional journey. So let's get started. So here we are in NBS Source. You can access Source from any web browser. You don't need an NBS subscription to be able to use it. You can log in using your NBS ID, and that gives you the benefits of being able to download literature, CPD materials, BIM objects, certificates, as well as using the collections functionality in collaboration with NBS Chorus. So let's have a look around the dashboard. First of all, top right hand corner, you can see that I'm logged into the platform because you can see my picture there, and you can see that I'm linked up with the organization called NBS Training in NBS Chorus. When you sign into the platform using your NBS ID, if you're a member of one organization only, it will bring you in against that organization. If you're a member of two organizations in Chorus, you can then select which organisation you want to use. Coming back to the left-hand side, we've got the Home tab, and this allows you to search the whole of NBS Source for information around products. You can search manufacturers, BIM objects, CPD, literature, and inspiration. You can browse the categories, browse manufacturers. And if we scroll down, you can also see what the popular categories are in the platform at this moment in time. You can see some of the sponsored products that appear here and CPD materials. And if we come a little further down, you can see recently viewed products. You can see the inspirations here, which are linked to case studies. And you can also see a section at the bottom of how NBS can help you. Next, we've got what's new. So this is where you can see manufacturers who've recently been added to the platform. You can see links to NBS events and webinars. We continue further down. You can see all the new products that have been added into the platform. Any recently added BIM objects. Recently added Reba CPD. And recently added inspirations. We've then got browse, and this allows you to browse all the categories. So we can browse by the categories in the platform. We can also browse by BIM object categories. And finally, you can browse by manufacturers as well. We do have links to the BIM library, so you can discover the BIM library and click on here. We can then search for BIM library itself. We've got a link for downloading the NBS Autodesk Revit plugin. And finally, we've got a link around the NBS BIM object standard, explaining what the standard is and allowing you to download it with guidance as well if needed. Inspirations. This is an area where you can search for specific things that you're looking for. So for example, I might be looking for some windows. I can press search and it will look for case studies involving projects with windows. And we can click into these, see the information about the actual case study, an overview of it, and we can click through to the full description here. Next to inspirations, we have collections. So collections allow you to build individual collections of products that you might be researching in the platform for use in a project. And once you're starting to write your specification in the project in NBS Chorus, you can then bring those products through in the collections themselves, saving you time in having to search for the products that you want to bring into the spec. We'll have a look at collections in a little bit more detail shortly. Finally, CPD. You've got a link here to CPD, Veriba Approved Providers Network. If I click into here, for example, maybe I am looking for some CPD on Windows again. I can press search. As well as it giving me that presented list, I can then go through Veriba CPD and click into any of these to have a look at them. There are filters on the left-hand side as well to allow you to get a bit more granular with the CPDs that are coming forward for you. Okay, let's click back to home. So let's have a look at searching for products. And first of all, it's products that I'm interested in, so I'm going to switch the search from all to products. And actually I'm interested in doors, so I'm just going to type in the word door. You can see it gives some suggestions underneath. But in this case, I'm just going to click on the magnifying glass and search. You can see at the top, it's done a search on doors, and underneath it's brought up for us 1,160 results, 62 results on doors. Now that's a heck of a lot of results to be looking through. So on the left-hand side here, we provide you with filters that you can use to filter these results down. Starting off with categories here. So I've got 3 categories of doors, frames and leaves, door shutter, hatch systems and door sets. Well, it's the door sets that I'm looking at that I'm interested in. So I'm going to click onto door sets. And you can see that it's brought the results down to 938. Now, the way that we group all of these together is based on the Uniclass coding. And we use that to group the products together. So in this case, the coding for door sets in Uniclass is PR for product 30, 59, 24. So everything that's sat in this result sits within that part of the Uniclass door sets coding. I can come down and look at the subcategories here and see the different subcategories that are listed. Now it's a wooden door that I'm looking for, so I can click into the subcategory and select wood door sets. And now you see a Uniclass code that you're much more used to, with the letters followed by 4 sets of 2-digit codes, which is the Uniclass code for wood door sets. And you'll see now the figures come down to a much more manageable figure of 252. We can still use the filters on the left-hand side to filter this down further. And as you can see here, we have filters around organisations that write specifications, so our spec writing partners. You can filter by has sustainability data. Well, actually, sustainability data is important. So let's filter by that now to bring the records down further. You can filter by meeting the BIM object standard, or filter by just BIM objects, or even CPD materials. We can filter by verification status. So we can filter on products that are verified. We can filter on products that are due for verification, and we can filter on products that are overdue on verification. Verification is where a manufacturer has checked the information on the actual platform for their product. We've got product certificates in here, so we've got BMA Trada, BRE certificates, We've even got EPD certificates here as well that you can filter by. We come further down, we've got manufacturer certification from CHAS, ISO 9001 standards, made in Britain. We come further down, you can filter by the manufacturers who are in the list as well. We can also filter by sustainability data, so we can filter by recycled content. We can filter by country of product, manufacturer, material of origin. We can even filter by embodied carbon where that information is provided. You can filter by BIM objects, so we can filter by the software platform the BIM objects are suitable for. And you can filter by the specification information that will be moved into your specification if you choose to add a product. And then finally, you've got general information around things like width, warranty description, shape, material, and length. And there's a couple more here around height, finish, and colour. So you can use these filters to show products that meet the requirements of your project. When you've got a list of products that you're interested in looking at, you can then start to compare those. Before we do though, just to go through a couple of the things that you're seeing in these product tiles. First of all, at the top here we've got BOS with a tick. This tells you that this product has BIM objects that are verified to the NBS BIM standard. As we come down underneath the product, you've got a green circle that tells you this has been verified within the last 3 days. We come further down, we've then got some icons here. One which says, the box which tells you it has BIM objects. The little sprig with leaves on tells you the sustainability data. And then finally, this little circle with the +2 tells you that there are 2 variants of this product. So there's 2 versions of this product that you could add into your specification. And as you scroll through, you can see some of the other icons that appear within there. Okay, let's jump all the way back to the top and let's have a look at being able to compare products. So in this case, I'm looking for internal doors. So I can come through here and can say, actually, that single door set there is of interest to me, so I'm going to compare that. Come a little bit further down. There's this Protect single door set that's of interest to me. And I can click up to 3 different products to compare them against each other. And so finally, let's just come down a little bit further. And I'm going to go with this Shadcore fire door set and select that to compare. So I've now got 3 doors that I compare against each other, and you can see those clearly here at the bottom. If you want to change one, you can just hit the X next to it and it will remove it. So I could remove that Shadcore door set, for example, come a little bit further down. And in this case, I might go for this single door flush frame here. Okay, 3 products there. I can click into the compare and I can now compare those products against each other. You can select the variants to see if there's any differences within the variants. In this case, I'm just going to put primed for both of those, and we'll talk a little bit more about variants in a little while. As we come further down the page here for the comparison, you can see that we have the information around product certification, colour, finish, materials, all here to allow you to compare the information so that we can get a little bit more precise about which door we might want to select and see what actually meets our needs. If I scroll back to the top, you'll see also here we have a sustainability report that you can pull. So the sustainability report will give you information about the products and the sustainability information so that you can compare them. So we can click on that and it will then pull that report. Now, I've got one I've already produced. And you can see this composite and aluminium door sets. We've got the general information at the top. We've got the classification that it sits within. We've got the product with the links to the products as well within Source. If there's a variant, what that was selected. The manufacturer information, when it was last verified by the manufacturer. A summary of the product. Any manufacturer sustainability certificate. Where EPDs are available, you can see that there's links to those EPDs or mention of those EPDs. And it goes into product sustainability certifications, red list, country material of origin. We've got the embodied carbon information. You can see there's quite a bit of information there that you've got within this spreadsheet that you can then use to reference the products. Okay, let's close that. And let's go back to the products. Now, we can then click into these products. So if I'm interested in this Forza door, for example, I can click into it. And now I can look at the product information about this. I can see any pictures that are available. In this case, there's 2 pictures that we can flick between and have a look at to get a bit of an idea about what the door looks like. We've got links to the product certificate. Sorry, we've got indications here of product certification, so on the EPDs. The orange here is just indicating that there's no expiry date on these certificates currently. We can also jump directly to specification data, sustainability data. We can jump to the BIM objects where they're available and product certifications. If you want to reach out to the manufacturer, you'll see that the manufacturer's number is here on the right-hand side. We've got their website link, as well as a button to contact the manufacturer so that you can reach out to the manufacturer from directly within Source. We scroll down slightly and you'll start to see that we've got application information, we've got the description of the product, features and benefits. We've got the generic information, so colour that product's available in, the finishes, the materials that are used, the shape of the door. Come further down, you can see we've got the Uniclass code here again. So the Uniclass code telling you where this product sits within Uniclass. And we've got the common arrangements of work section codes. So it's telling you where you can use this product within common arrangements of work sections. Come further down, we've then got the specification data. Anywhere where you see grey information in here, and this is guidance to help you bring information into the product. And you can see as we come down, we've got all the product information there that will come through into your specification. Where there's choices to make, you'll see that there's multiple bits of information in there. And when you add this into your spec, you would select for one that is relevant. Okay, you can see there's quite a lot of information there. Let's scroll back up to the top. Now, if this is a product I'm interested in, I might be at an early stage doing my initial investigation around what products I might going to be using the spec. Well, you can actually add a product to a collection. So we mentioned collections before. This allows you to put a group of products together that you can then easily access and look at what you've actually selected. To be able to do that, we just, on the picture here, there's a little heart and a plus. If you click onto that, you get a little message at the bottom that said add to collections. I'm just going to clear these compare products here for a second. And I can click add to collection. And I can either create a completely new collection, which I'll show you how to do in a second. Or I can just click on an existing collection and then select Add. Just click on OK at the bottom on the message telling me it's been added. And now if I go into the Collections tab and I click into the refurbishment project, I can now see all the products that I've put in here for future use. And as I scroll down, you can see all the different products I've got selected. And right at the bottom here is my FD30 single door flush frame Vision Panel 4. So that's there within my collection. And now I can go searching for other products and bring those into the collection. The advantage in doing this means that then you can further research those products, or if you're about to write your specification, you can look at this collection and bring it through into the spec. You've also got a sustainability report available here as well, which then will allow you to export that same sustainability report we did for the compare. You can also do for the collection as well. Also, you can add manufacturers into collections. You can add CPDs, literature and inspirations. And you could have collections set up for manufacturers, for CPD, as separate ones instead of having all that information together in the collection. You can also create collections from scratch. I can just click here on Create Collection. Give this collection a title. So I might call this Lego House, a project that we're about to start working on. And I could just create it at this level. But if this was specific to a project that I was working on, you can come down and link the collection to that project. First of all, you can select the organization. You can then select the actual project. So I can just have this collection linking to one project and not showing any other projects. So in this case, if I just scroll down a little bit down my very long list and click on Lego House here, and now that means this collection will only appear within my Lego House project. And what's really useful here is there's a little checkbox that when you're working as part of a much larger team on a project, this means that you can share this collection with everybody who is involved within the project. So those people who've actually been invited into the project in Chorus. And they will see in that project this collection, which we'll have a look at shortly. So if I select that and then just go Create. And we'll just give that a second. I can click OK. And then I can click into that collection and I can start adding products to it. Okay. As collections, we're just going to go back to variants and we're going to just have a search for something else within the platform. I'm going to have a search for hand dryers. You can see here I've got 101 different hand dryers that have come up, so I'm going to select this. And I'm going to come down, I'm going to have a look at one of these projects that's got variants in it. So this AirTech Triclone Hands-In hand dryer automatic has got 3 variants that are part of this. And if I click into that, I can then select here one of the 3 variants to look at, which is great. But what you really want to be able to see is actually what is the difference between these 3 variants. And what we can do is you'll notice here on the left next to the compare tick box, there's a compare variants. If you click on that compare variants, it allows you to see the 3 versions or the 3 variants of this product side by side. When there's more than 3 variants, you'll need to select which variants you want to compare because it will only let you compare a maximum of 3. But as we come down the page, we can then start to compare the differences between these three hand dryers. We can see wherever there's a blue background, that's indicating where those differences are. So again, that can be really helpful to help you make the decision about which variant of this product you're actually going to use. Okay, let's click on Home. So we've looked at navigating around Source. We've looked at searching for content, filtering that content. We've looked at how to compare it. The next stage is to look at how we add this content into our specification once we've made those choices. Let's look at how we take the information and put it into a spec. There are three main ways that you can add products from NBS Source into your NBS Chorus specification. The first way is to copy it from NBS Source. So let's have a look at that. I'm going to go back to my collections. So in this case, let's have a look again for doors. And we'll go back to our wood door sets. And we're just going to pick any door here at random. So I'm going to take this Audio Suite single door set here and click into it. Now, here you will see on the screen it says Add to Spec. And we can select and click on the Add to Spec, and it copies the relevant information to enable us to paste this into the spec and gives you information below saying your product is copied. Now go to NBS Chorus and then paste the product in. So let's do that. I'm just going to scroll across to NBS Chorus here. I've got several products here, or several projects here already. And I'm going to click into the Lego house project I've got. And I'm going to go into my refurbishment spec. And you can see here I've got a door set system already in. And I know it's a wood door set system that I want to use in here, so I can scroll all the way down to my first wood door set system here. And I'm just going to click into the manufacturer row. And at this point, I can just go Control V, and it will start to link the product. It confirms with me that this is the product I want to bring into my spec. I can then confirm and go yes, and it will add the product in. You can see here it's brought the door suite in, and it's giving us the information on the right hand side within the products panel. I can then work my way through the rest of this door set clause, selecting the relevant information from a manufacturer. Now, where it doesn't give you any information, in this case, there is no suggestions here, click back into the products, open the clause, and just scroll down. And here you are in door set sizes. It's telling us the door set sizes, maximum width with latch, maximum height. And you can then select a size from this, because the manufacturer does bespoke sizing. But it's also worth consulting with the manufacturer in this case. If we come down and we go to integrity, you can now see the selections of 30 minutes or 60 minutes. We continue further down. There are other selections around material and species and threshold, and you would just select what you want to use for the project. So really that's quite a simple way of bringing products in. It works exactly the same for common arrangements of work sections. So let's come out of our refurbishment new spec here and click into Lego House. And we're going to go into our refurbishment C project, where I've got L20 doors, shutters and hatches. And I'm just going to scroll back to my door. I'm just going to double check what clause it sits in. So I can put it into L2420 or L2410. Oh, and one other thing, I'm just going to click on Add to Spec to make sure I've got it copied. I'm going to scroll down. And a quick tip, by the way, for being able to navigate through quickly is on the left-hand side here on the contents, you've got a little button that looks like a bullet list, and a little button that looks like it's got the tail of a dart on it. If you click on that, it will give you what we call tree view. So I can click to open it up and it will show me the sections, general, products, execution. I can click on products and I could quickly just go down. I can see I've got the 2 wood door sets there. I'm going to click on the first one and I'll jump straight to it. And in this case, I'm just going to unpark that clause. Click into it and go Control V again. I'm going to ask it to add it to the spec. Now this is where the behavior changes. So when I ask that to add it to the spec, it will add it to it, but it doesn't add it into this wood door sets here. If I scroll down, it's created a new clause and brought the product into that new clause. Okay. So the difference is it's created a brand new clause for the wood door set. And it will do that with all products brought into course specification. In Uniclass, it will bring it into the exact clause. Okay, so that's copying the product from source and bringing it into Chorus. Let's go back into our Uniclass specification and let's have a look at the other 2 ways of dealing with this. I'm going to click into my door set system again. I'm going to scroll down to my next wood door sets, which is this wood door sets type B. I'm going to click into it again. I could click on the down arrow here and it would show me what products are available and I could select a manufacturer from here. Or I could click into the products themselves and then I get the full list of products here. Now, in this case, I'm going to bring in this Kensington Chelsea entrance door framing. And I'm just going to click on that. And when I do, it asks me, this says to me, this product's got 2 variants. Which one do you want to bring in? So I can now choose which of the variants I want to bring in. So I might bring in the double glazed and click Add to Spec. So it's brought it into the spec and I can save it. In fact, I might go in and put in just a little bit of additional information in here. So I might say as drawing for the door set size. But at this point, I realised I made a mistake. Actually, I didn't mean to bring this one in. What I meant to do was bring in the laminated one. Because it's in a high traffic area and if somebody falls into it, I don't want it to break and potentially hurt someone. Whereas the laminated might be much better for the purposes of what I want. So if I select the Chelsea entrance door set here, the laminated version, watch what happens with the information. Remember the door set size here, I put as drawing. So as I switch this, it takes that door set size out. So what it will do is it will remove any information that you've put into the clause based on the product that was there. Now that I've selected the other variant, it brings in all the information from that other variant, and I would have to go through and select configuration and door set size again. The reasoning behind that is the two variants will have differences, and what you don't want to do is leave information there that isn't relevant to the variant that you've chosen to replace the original one. So let's save that. Okay, the final way that you can add products. We'll come all the way down to our wood door sets here. And I'm going to click on the products panel. And I'm going to click back on some more products to give me the full list. Just a couple of things I want to point out to you here, by the way. At the bottom, you can click in here to search manufacturers, compare products, CPD more. That will take you into NBS Source. You can also suggest a manufacturer for a product if you choose. Now, we were talking about collections before, and I said that if you set up a collection in Source, you can then use that within Chorus, and they appear here on the right hand side. Now, it will only show a collection if there are any products in it. So I've got this refurbishment project here, and when I say products in it, I mean products that are suitable for the clause that you're sat within. So if I open this refurbishment project, it'll only show me the single door flush frame. If I want to see my other collections, I can click on the little slider here, and then it shows me my empty collections. So my Lego house collection here has got nothing in it at this moment in time. Got my door there, and then it's exactly the same going from here to add the product in as it is adding a product out of the general list. You're just hitting the plus, and it's adding that product in for you. So the benefit here is by doing that from a collection, you've done all the work, all the research, all the comparing, and put it into the collection. So it's just ready then to be added into the specification. And because of the benefit with the collection is that it will only show you a product that can actually go into the clause that you're sat in. So that way you can quickly see where you've selected products and add those products into the actual specification. Let's save that. Now, when you come to output your specification, it might be several weeks after you've actually added products in. And one of the issues that you might possibly hit is that a manufacturer has changed that product in that period of time. Well, where that has happened, the platform has been built to signify to you that a change has occurred. So if we were going to publish this specification, for example, I'm just going to click into the Lego house here in my breadcrumbs at the top to take me to the contents page of the spec. And I'm going to publish my refurbishment spec here. I'm going to click on the three dots and I'm going to click publish specification. And immediately I get this message. And it's telling me some products in the specification have either had their data updated or are no longer in NBS. This archived data may not reflect the manufacturer's most recent data about these products. Read more about archived product data, but it's also saying to you run spec check report. So we've adapted the spec check report that's always been there to now give you information about products that have changed since you put them into your spec. If I click run spec check report here, we'll just quickly run that. And I'm just going to click to open that spec check report. And I'm going to bring it across onto my screen so you can all see. Now, a lot of you who are writing specifications in Chorus will be very familiar with this spec check report. It shows you where there are potential issues in your specification. But the new column that's been added on the far right hand side is product data. So where no product data is in the spec, it just says, it tells you there is none. Where the product is current, it tells you synchronize with NBS Source. And where it isn't, it tells you the product data used is no longer current. So it's telling you that there is a potential issue here. And you can click on the link here on the left-hand side, and it will take you directly to the actual clause with the product in. Now, in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scroll across and take you directly to the product. So I'm going to click on this link here, which will open up an NBS Chorus window, and as long as you have access to the specification, will take you to the exact section of the specification where the product is. And it's here our extensive green roof with roof drain 20mm reservoir board. If I click next to that, it opens up the product and it tells us that the product is no longer available on the NBS. And in this case, gives us an option to choose another product. Where the product has been updated, it will tell you the product has been updated from the manufacturer, and it'll give you the option to go and have a look at the product. And you can then choose to update the product in your specification to ensure that you have the current version of the product there. So suddenly it's helping you to ensure that when you issue your spec, the product information is as up to date as possibly can be. And once you issue the specification and you've published the specification, so I'm going to quickly publish this in this case. I'll click through continue. Just very quickly, just jump through to publish the spec. And here is the spec itself. If I scroll down the spec to our door set systems, past the door set systems, to our extensive green roof system here, you can see there's a link in the specification to the extensive green roof and roof drain. And you've got a secondary check here that when you click onto the product, again, it will open it in Source this time and tell the person that the product is no longer available. So in that case, they can either contact the manufacturer or contact back to you, so a replacement selection can be made. So that is NBS Source and NBS Chorus. Today, we have looked at how you can use Source to research products, to compare products against each other, how to see the literature on those products from the manufacturer, how to see the current certifications that those products hold, where you want to bring BIM objects into a 3D model, how you can use Source to search for those objects, where you want to further your education, the CPD materials that you can search and use. You've seen how you can build collections in the platform of products that you want to use in a project, and how you can share those collections lists with colleagues working in the same project. You've seen that when you come to publish your specification, it will tell you whether a product has changed, whether that product is still available, and it will give you a link to go and check that in the spec. You can make a decision on whether you put the updated version of the product in, or where the product is no longer available, you put a new product in its place. You've seen how anyone reading the spec can click on the links for the products, bringing them into Source, and they can see at that point in time whether any changes have occurred with the products. Using NBS Source and Chorus together in the process of writing your specifications will help you to keep on top of the products that you've got within the spec. Thank you all for joining us today. It's been great talking to you all, and I hope that you have found this session useful. And please feel free to reach out to us with any questions that you might have that you didn't raise in the session. Thank you, everybody, and please look out for future webinars that we will be hosting. You can find those on the NBS website. Have a great rest of the day.